morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the new Syma X5HW. Now, the Syma X5HW is an upgrade to the Syma X5C, Syma X5S series with altitude hold. It incorporates altitude hold in this quadcopter. This is the first of the Symas, I believe, to be released. That includes that ability. Now, what is altitude hold? Altitude hold includes a little barometer inside here that senses air pressure, and with that it can automatically maintain altitude. You set the altitude for the quadcopter, and then you don't have to worry about that again. It automatically will hold that quadcopter's altitude. Now, where does that come in handy? Well, in FPV flying. And FPV flying, that's what this does. This one is a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi FPV flyer. Here's your camera. Here's your transmitter. Again, this seems to be an upgrade actually to the X5S model. I hope it does not have the wind bug. We'll find out today. But it's very similar to the X5S model, with the exception it includes now barometer altitude hold. Another thing that it has, which I don't like, this is the first time I've seen this, is it has a new type of connector, a proprietary connector to the battery, which is a 500 milliampere hour, I believe. It is a 500 milliampere hour. I guess there's plenty of room in that battery compartment for larger batteries, but it comes with a 500 milliampere hour with this proprietary Syma connector. Now, that's going to be an issue because I don't know where you can get replacement batteries for this other than Syma. So normally these are dirt cheap for the Syma X5C and the X5S series, but expect them to be a little bit more because of the proprietary connector on this quadcopter. Other than that, again, it is your basic X5S model with an on-off switch here. The same connectors for the camera, the same camera connector as you see on the X5HW model. And again, more or less the same quadcopter X5S model with the addition of altitude hold. Well, let's go for a flight. Or wait a minute, before we do go for a flight, I have to go over this controller. Now, this is the Syma X5HW controller, and if you notice the throttle switch here centers automatically. That tells you right away that you have an altitude hold quadcopter when you have something like that. So again, you set the altitude of the quadcopter and you just don't touch this throttle. If you want to go up a bit, you push up a bit until you reach the altitude that you want, and then let go of the throttle, and it will maintain that altitude. Again, this is your pitch roll or your throttle yaw stick, and your pitch and roll stick, and these buttons here are for trim, and I'm going to need that today because I got somewhat of a slight breeze here. The shoulder buttons, this one here is for changing the rates or for entering headless mode. This does have headless mode if you hold down this left trigger button for 2 seconds, and if you want to do flips, this will do flips by pressing this right trigger button here. Now, the quadcopter uses this bracket here to hold your smartphone, and this will hold smartphones up to about, I believe, 5-inch smartphones, maybe a little bit larger actually, because a little bit larger smartphones with this bracket. It's pretty easily adjustable for most available smartphones. Now, this uses the Syma X5 the Syma FPV app, available on Google Play and the iStore. So there's no issues with getting the app for this. It's easily available and readily available right now if you want to try it out on your phone. It's called Syma FPV. Look for it on Google Play and iTunes. So let's go for a flight of this thing. First off, I'm going to go into the shade here because I want you to be able to see the screen here, and we're going to go over to home plate here and take off from there. This is Leroy Jackson Park in Ridgecrest, California. Nice park. Great place to go to fly if you go early in the morning when there's nobody here, during the golden hour when filming is best and winds are relatively light. So let me plug this battery in and turn the on-off switch off. Battery is plugged in, closing up the little door and turning the on-off switch on. And the first thing you want to do after you turn on the on-off switch is find that app. And we are going to do that right now. Turn it on my phone. And looking for the app. Oh, first thing you want to do is not look for the app. You want to make sure that you have Wi-Fi connection with the quadcopter. So you go into settings, turn on Wi-Fi. I normally have it off when I fly. The reason being I don't want it to interfere with my quadcopters, but in this case I do want it to connect to FPV Wi-Fi DBFA. Okay, so we're connected. And going to the app itself and opening the app. And then you hit the start button on the app. And there we go. We have signal. Okay, so putting the phone into its bracket holder, and it automatically flips. So I have mine set up to automatically flip. And I'm going back a bit into the shade so you can see that. Now I'm turning on the quadcopter and binding it to the quadcopter and starting the video. Video is recording. Now this automatically takes off by, or actually it doesn't automatically take off, I'm sorry, but you start the motors by pulling the motors down and out, or the both sticks down and out, and then let go of the sticks. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's down and in, and then let go of the sticks. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and it enters into an idle state. And then to gain altitude, you give it throttle. I'm going to a higher rate here and adjusting the trim a bit. It's got to be trimmed to the left and trimmed forward too. Okay, we have reasonable trim, and I have a good screen on my FPV screen. I am flying an FPV right now, folks. This is working very well. But it's not recording. Hit record again. I don't know why it turned off. Maybe I took too long to start the flight. It's recording now, but it's holding altitude relatively well, as you can see here. Now, since this is a altitude hold quadcopter, it stopped recording again, starting it back up again. I don't know what that was. It keeps stopping its recording, but it's maintaining the altitude very well. Why is it stopping recording? One more time. Okay, let's go up. Up. Let me show you Ridgecrest. And we're about, I'd say about 30 meters up. Letting go of the altitude hold stick, or the throttle, and showing you the area around Leroy Jackson Park in Ridgecrest, California. And as you can see, my screen is it works very well here, especially if you're flying in the shade on a sunny day. And it's still recording now. Okay, I want to make sure I got that recording. I'm going to turn it off. And I'm going to come back down again. We're too high. Okay, let's turn the recording off for now. I want to make sure I got the recording, in other words. Now let's look at this altitude hold. Or actually, let's go into headless mode. Holding headless mode. Okay. Pulling back, right. So it thinks headless mode off, direction is off there. Coming out of a headless mode. Okay, remember, emergency off. Emergency off, you push down the sticks and move inboard. And turning off the quadcopter. Turning the quadcopter back on again. And waiting for it to regain that signal from the quadcopter. Connect it. Takes a few seconds for it to reconnect again. Okay. Syma FPV app. And hitting record again. And recording and pulling down and inboard. Letting go. Giving a little throttle. I'm not sure if this is working correctly. Or have to have to turn on the transmitter and rebind it to the quadcopter. I didn't do that. Okay, we're rebound now. We should be able to go again. Yeah, down and inboard, and then give it a little throttle, and it'll start up. And again, I want to start off in headless mode this time. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to a higher rate too. And starting the recording again. The reason I want to be in headless mode is I want to record myself. And to do that, I'm putting it in headless mode. So again, this is altitude hold feature is activated. Coming down a little bit, it's a little too high. I've just been flying the Syma or Cheerson CX-10D altitude hold, and that would do kind of screwy things when you use pitch roll command. It would start to climb when you'd give it pitch. This one seems to be holding altitude well. The only thing it's not doing well is here, I'm going to turn it this way to get the sun out of the picture, is that the recording keeps stopping on the app. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's an issue with my camera. It could be an issue with my cheap China camera that I'm using here. But now it's recording. Okay, coming out of headless mode and flying normally. So that altitude hold works very well on this. I've not seen the wind bug, by the way, so it looks like Syma corrected that. It doesn't have the wind bug. I got a good 3-4 knot breeze in my face here, and I'm giving it gentle commands, and it's easily going into the wind. So wind bug is not an issue. Good altitude hold feature on this. Let's take it up a little higher. Right there, a little bit higher. Angle, or the altitude of my camera on my hat. Good job. And that battery seems to last a good long time with this. Going up one more time here. I'm not seeing any lights still. And we'll fly it around here. Nice gentle flyer. I hope the video is coming out nice. But again, it's recording onto my phone. And since it's recording to my phone via Wi-Fi, the data stream is kept minimal by using lower resolution to the quadcopter. So it's only 0.3 megapixel sensor and camera. Actually, that's probably a 2 megapixel sensor in there, but it's only transmitting 3.3 megapixel to the phone here. Pretty neat, huh? That altitude hold works real well. See the breeze in the trees? It works well even with the breeze, which I find kind of surprising. So yeah, this is a winner, this one here, the X5HW. The only thing I don't like, again, is every once in a while, again, this might be a problem with my phone, is the video signal, or the video recording stops. And other than that, it's a great flyer. Great altitude hold flyer. Not extremely maneuverable, not meant for, stunts or maneuvering, meant for aerial video. Okay, my lights are blinking. Let's land it and show you how to do an emergency shutdown and see if it actually works. And down and inboard. And that shuts it off. And let's stop the video. So, that was the X5HW, folks. Pretty neat flyer. Kind of like it. A good upgrade from the X5S, which I did not like, or because of the altitude or the wind bug. This does not have the wind bug in it. It has altitude hold, which makes it a winner. And the FPV looked really good in the screen here. I was really impressed with it. And minimal lag too, if you can see this, folks. Or I can't. I'm not sure if you can see this, but the lag is somewhat minimal. So hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out.